Lesson 43, Pleasant and Unpleasant Feelings. Hello, and welcome to this lesson. Today, we are going to learn useful vocabulary for talking about happiness, unhappiness, excitement, anger, anxiety, and other emotional states. A. Happiness and unhappiness. You feel content or contented when you are satisfied with what you have. The adjective content is not normally used before a noun. We can say, she is content with her life. However, before a noun, use contented. She has always been a contented person. You feel grateful when someone has done something kind or thoughtful for you. For example, I am really grateful to you for helping me with my project. The word thankful is often used when something bad could have happened but did not happen. You feel delighted when something gives you great pleasure, such as hearing good news about someone. For example, I was delighted to hear that you are getting married. You feel miserable when everything seems to be going wrong or when you feel extremely unhappy. For example, I felt miserable all day yesterday. Maybe it was just the grey, cold weather. You feel discontented when your life or situation does not give you satisfaction. For example, she is very discontented with her job and is going to look for a new one. You feel fed up or sick and tired when you have had enough of something unpleasant. For example, I am fed up with Olivia's rudeness and sick and tired of her bad behavior. You feel depressed when you are very unhappy for a long period. In some severe cases, depression is considered an illness. For example, I felt depressed after having 10 job interviews and not getting a job. You feel confused when you cannot understand different or conflicting feelings and ideas. For example, I feel so confused. Last week she said she loved me passionately, but this week she said we were just good friends. B. Excitement and inspiration. You feel inspired when something encourages you to do something positive or creative. For example, I felt inspired after the concert. I have decided to take piano lessons. You feel thrilled when something extremely exciting and pleasing happens. For example, she was so thrilled when she got a job with a television company. She had always wanted to work in the media. You feel enthusiastic when you are interested in something and have positive feelings about it. For example, I was quite enthusiastic about my tennis lessons at first. However, you may later feel frustrated if you cannot do something that you really want to do. For example, the teacher is not very good, and now I just feel frustrated. Feeling upset or angry. Something upsets you when it makes you feel unhappy. For example, the argument I had with Eva the other night really upset me. You feel furious when you are extremely angry. For example, I was furious with the waiter. The service was slow, and he spilt coffee over my shirt. Nervousness and anxiety. You feel nervous when you are worried or slightly afraid about something that is going to happen. This feeling can sometimes be similar to excitement, although it is usually negative. You feel anxious when you are afraid, uncertain, and worried. For example, I was so nervous before the exam, and then I felt anxious before the results came out. However, I passed with a high grade. Language help, using really, absolutely, and quite. The adverb really can be used with all the adjectives in this lesson. For example, I am really grateful. I feel really confused. Use absolutely with adjectives that describe extreme states. These include delighted, fed up, sick and tired, thrilled, and furious. For example, she was absolutely delighted. I am absolutely fed up. He was absolutely furious. With these extreme adjectives, quite usually means absolutely. For example, she was quite thrilled. With less extreme adjectives, quite usually means rather or fairly. For example, I was quite enthusiastic about my tennis lessons.